Good evening, folks. This is a special edition episode of Beyond the Algorithm. And we got some significant attacks that have happened in New Orleans with a suspect being identified as an Army vet. And I'm your host, Victor Vinciant. And, it's a wild time to open up New Year's. I first got the notification that something had went down. I was watching football, and they said they had canceled the game between Georgia and I don't even know who they was playing. It's not important at this time. And I was like, why did they cancel the game? And then I looked up and I see the people in New Orleans are yet again underneath another situation where their safety is being compromised in a way that is, egregious. So I decided to go ahead and go live so we can talk about this stuff and get things, underway with the discussion that we need to have about what does 2025 look like, and if this is any sign of it with incoming administrations changes and man, it's just a lot. Let me just go ahead and get us situated so we can bring things up to speed because hang on a second, man. I'm having trouble trying to make this make sense right now. Um, I had to pause for a second because let me show y'all who the suspect is at this stage, and then we're gonna get into it. I'll let y'all talk.
Good evening. I'm Shamsuddin Jabbar, property manager with Blue Meadow Properties and team lead at the Midas Group at Core Realty. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years as a human resources specialist and IT specialist, where I learned the meaning of great service and what it means to be responsive and take everything seriously, dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that things go off without a hitch. So I've taken those skills and applied them to my career as a real estate agent, where I feel like what really sets me apart from other agents is my ability to be able to, one, be a fierce negotiator. So not only do I brilliantly market your property to make sure it gets sold as quickly as possible or gets leased as quickly as possible, but I'm also going to take every ounce of energy and putting it into negotiating for you and for your property to get the best deal that you can possibly get for it. So once we get to the closing table, all the I's are going to be dotted, all the T's are going to be crossed, everything's going to go off without a hitch. And that is my word that I'm giving to you as your real estate agent.
That's what I just found recently. Like a lot of this stuff is updating very, very quickly. So even since we gone live, there's been, new information to come out about this situation. And so forgive me if some of it doesn't seem up to date or accurate, but I'm going to bring up the next information that I had at the time. They were saying that it was so many people that had already been deceased. I think around like 10 was the last count that I saw. And since then, things have changed yet again. So the information just coming so quickly that I want to make sure that I get the most accurate information real time. And the way that this information is coming out, we can't really control it, obviously. And I want to make sure that I got the right thing. Here we go. So let's go.
Enforcement and intelligence correspondent Tom Winter. He's been reporting all morning on this. Tom, I see your new note, but I'll let you tell us what you know about. You're learning much more about the suspect.
We sure are, and I'm going to fold in the reporting of my colleagues Julia Ainsley and Ken Delaney in here. First off, from an investigation standpoint, there is an active effort right now to investigate a potential improvised explosive device, so a homemade explosive device in plain English, found inside that individual's vehicle. there are at least 2 other potential, again, not confirmed, potential improvised explosive devices that were planted in the area. They're trying to determine, are those actual explosives? Could they have gone off? And are they tied to this particular individual? So they're looking at that as well. It's our understanding that this person had on his person a long gun as well as potentially another weapon. And the FBI now says on the record that this 42-year-old identified as Shamsuddin Jabbar, and the FBI has now identified him publicly, says that he's a U.S. citizen from Texas, that an ISIS flag was located, and I'm quoting now, and the FBI is working to determine the subject's potential associations and affiliations with terrorist organizations. Now, that ISIS flag that they say was located in the vehicle is believed to be affixed to the hitch on the tailgate. So if you look at this photo and you look at where the license plate is, it's a Texas license plate on the back of it, there's a white pole that kind of comes up there, and there's a black material, some sort of potentially a flag, a garment, whatever it is, that might be, in fact, the flag that was there. So that's something that they're looking at, Kate. In addition, we're told that they're looking into this vehicle and where they got it from, but there's no indication at this point that the person who rented this vehicle, which may have been through an application, so there's kind of like an Airbnb for cars, that this individual rented out the car, but may not have known this person's intentions. That's something that law enforcement will continue to look into. But again, the headlines here, the FBI now formally confirming the information that we broke several hours ago, that Shamsuddin Jabbar is in fact the person they believe is responsible for this deadly truck attack. We are told that shortly we will be, from multiple senior law enforcement officials, will hear that the death toll has risen, that this individual is a citizen from Texas. He was driving a Ford pickup truck, and that that truck had an ISIS flag that was found in it. And that's what the FBI is investigating at this standpoint, from this at this hour, I should say, that multiple special agent bomb technicians from the FBI and other local law enforcement agencies. In this particular case, it would be the Louisiana State Police, the New Orleans Police Department, but typically the Louisiana State Police has a pretty robust presence on this. They'll take a look at some other devices, which we are reporting, according to 3 law enforcement officials briefed on the matter, at least 2 other devices that were planted in the vicinity that is obviously of high interest. This really changes a bit the security picture here, because if other devices were planted where they planted elsewhere in New Orleans, obviously we're all acutely aware of the event that is happening tonight in that city, the Sugar Bowl, and what does it mean for that event? So a lot of questions here, Kate and Morgan, but I'll kind of send it back to you for any questions you might have as we continue to do our reporting and pour through this.
Tom, first off, excellent reporting, because for our viewers who are just turning in, you gave us 4 really big new nuggets that really changed the landscape of what we've been seeing. You talked about the flag, ISIS flag. 2 potential IEDs. 3, more details from the suspect. We now know he's 42-year-old U.S.-born citizen born in Texas. And 4, you mentioned that the death toll was expected to rise. On that note, Tom, and I want to go back to that flag that we're looking at here, attached to the hitch of the bed of that truck there. That was really striking to me, because I also saw when that looked at that photo, those 4 holes in the windshield, the back windshield there that appear to be, gunshot bullet holes that may have entered the vehicle. When you see that flag, does that give us any indication about whether or not he was working alone, or if he had known associates? And 2, Tom, do we have any, now that we have this name, do we have any indication of whether or not he'd had previous arrests, misdemeanors, felonies, anything in his record?
That's something that we're still pouring through with respect to what is referred to in law enforcement circles as suspect pedigree. Where do they come from? What's their date of birth? Do they have any active lawsuits for or against them? Do they have any sort of criminal history? That's information that we're still in the process of going through, and we'd like to do a lot of verification to get to that point. You're seeing a video of the immediate aftermath. There were, according to a video, I think that we're hopefully going to be able to show folks shortly, that's just been forwarded to me from our affiliate in New Orleans. Basically, this stops, and then there's a quick pause or 2, and then a tremendous exchange of gunfire. So the bullet holes that you're seeing on the back of that car could have come from police. They could have come from police firing from the front to the back. They could have been, it's just the picture's not clear enough, could have been shots fired from the back to the front. We are told that investigators are looking into whether or not he was firing as he was driving this vehicle, that he may have been firing a gun while driving the vehicle. That's something they're looking into. We don't have that confirmed. That's going to require, obviously, a lot of work from an evidence standpoint. Clearly, some of that probably based off of eyewitnesses. We'll see if that turns out to be true, but they're at least looking into it. This idea, by the way, of flying an ISIS flag on the back of a pickup truck is something that we've seen before. Sayfullo Saipov, back in October of 2017 on Halloween, drove down the Upper West Side Highway here in New York City and conducted a terrorist attack in the name of ISIS, killing 8, injuring over a dozen. He had talked about, according to court records, the idea of actually flying an ISIS flag from the back of his truck, coincidentally also a rented pickup truck, that from a major retailer. But he talked about doing that, but thought it would attract too much attention and that the NYPD would see that and immediately try to stop him. Obviously, that's something that would certainly grab the attention of law enforcement, frankly, anybody. That flag is kind of ubiquitous in our society. So that is something that we've seen, talked about before, and that is something, obviously, that is of interest. The idea of driving through a crowd in vehicle ramming attacks is something that we've seen over the last decade. It's talked about in almost every single major propaganda that comes out from various terrorist organizations. And as we recently reported on NBC News Now, in a story I believe we talked about, was the idea of how terrorist organizations are now using AI to produce terrorist propaganda because it allows them to be anonymous. You have the face and the voice of it being a computer somewhere instead of being an actual person, makes it more difficult for investigators to try to determine who is behind that propaganda. So this is an evolving landscape, a reminder that as we've been reporting here at NBC News for the past 9 months, the FBI has been especially concerned about the volume of terrorism investigations and attacks and thwarted attacks. There's been a number of them. The Taylor Swift concert in Austria, the FBI and the U.S. is warning to Russian security agencies about what turned out to be a deadly attack at the Crocus concert hall there. There were several other investigations, including an election day plot here in the United States that was disrupted, and a plot involving a relative of that suspect in France that was disrupted, as well as a number of potential incidents, not all necessarily tied to terrorism, that were thwarted before the Olympics. It's been an incredibly busy year in this landscape. It is at a tempo that we have not seen before, at least not since 2014, based on the officials that work in this space that I talked to. And so this is very real and has been a real genuine threat here, I would say, for the past year of this exact type of incident. The big question going forward is, how was it possible, knowing that all the information I just shared with you is information that was public prior to this event? How was it possible that a truck was able to drive down Bourbon Street in the early morning hours on New Year's Eve, when obviously there would be a lot of people out? There are a lot of people out in that street on a Tuesday in August, let alone at this time of the year. And as we saw here in New York City last night, it would not have been possible for this attack to take place. They fill up sanitation trucks with sand, and good luck to anybody trying to get through that. So obviously serious questions will need to be asked of New Orleans authorities. Was it an issue with overtime, and did politicians not allow those type of protections go in? Was it a failure on the police department? Was it a combination of things, like it usually is? Time will tell.
Yeah. Tom, before we let you go, can I just ask one question about the victims in all this, the people who've died, the people who are still hurt and in hospitals? Because you said when we came to you that the death toll has risen, which is the worst news we could imagine. Is this because many of the injuries are very severe and we're finding out that they're passing away at the hospital?
That's exactly right. The injuries here were horrific in nature, we're told. I don't think I need, out of respect to the victims, to get into specific details that we're being told and hearing, but we do expect the next time that we get a briefing from city officials for that death toll to rise. It's not because of any lack of extreme effort by the medical community. It's just injuries are injuries, and when you're hit with a truck at that high rate of speed, and if this idea that he was in fact firing out of the truck at that time, obviously that would have added additional problems for the people that were in that crowd. Is something that law enforcement's tracking down. It's horrific, it's horrible, and obviously is going to be continued sad news, not only for the New Orleans community, but given the fact this attracts people from all over the country, we'll have to wait and see if other communities are impacted as well.
Yeah, keeping all those families in our thoughts here too. Tom Winter for us. Tom, thank you for all the reporting.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top.
So as you can see, there's a lot of information still yet to be announced due to how fast the information is coming in. And then I got some. Then meanwhile, we also had something taking place in Las Vegas when it came down to a Cybertruck explosion. So in Vegas at the outside the Trump Hotel. So I'm gonna pull something up on that in a second, and in the meantime, we'll get you guys prepped with a little bit. I'm gonna play the background again on the guy that's the suspect or the alleged attacker in New
Good
Orleans.
evening. I'm Shamsuddin Jabbar, property manager with Blue Meadow Properties and team lead at the Midas Group at Core Realty. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years as a human resources specialist and IT specialist, where I learned the meaning of great service and what it means to be responsive and take everything seriously, dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that things go off without a hitch. So I've taken those skills and applied them to my career as a real estate agent, where I feel like what really sets me apart from other agents is my ability to be able to, one, be a fierce negotiator. So not only do I brilliantly market your property to make sure it gets sold as quickly as possible or gets leased as quickly as possible, but I'm also going to take every ounce of energy and putting it into negotiating for you and for your property to get the best deal that you can possibly get for it. So once we get to the closing table, all the I's are going to be dotted, all the T's are going to be crossed, everything's going to go off without a hitch, and that is my word that I'm giving to you as your real estate agent.
Okay, that was the suspect, and
Because
then
we got a lot happening today,
Let me
folks.
go
We got
through
multiple
for you.
law enforcement sources now telling NBC News that the Tesla Cybertruck that burst into flames outside of the Trump International Hotel in Vegas is being looked into as a possible terror attack. You're looking at video of what happened right here. We now know, let's bring that video up, guys, if we can. We now know at least one person is dead and 7 others are hurt. Those sources also telling us the Cybertruck was rented on the same service used by the suspect in New Orleans. Tesla CEO Elon Musk reacting today on X saying, quote this, the whole Tesla senior team is investigating this matter and that they've never seen anything like this. I want to bring in Emily Ikeda, who's been on this for us throughout the afternoon. I mean, this is also this kind of fast developing story happening on the same day as this horrendous terror attack in New Orleans. Of course, as of this very moment, important to reiterate, there is no connection between the two. Nonetheless, now being investigated also in Vegas as a terror attack, possibly.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We started to get a sense for the degree of seriousness of the situation when you start to see the expanding number of resources focusing and investigating the Cybertruck explosion and fire. There's the FBI that's involved on top of the local law enforcement agencies, the fire agencies. The governor has been monitoring this as well. So as you had just mentioned, we're now learning from several law enforcement sources that this is being investigated as a possible terror attack, that officials believe at this time that it was intentional, though the motive at this point still remaining unclear. Those sources telling us that the person killed was the driver of the cyber attack. 7 others, as we have been reporting throughout the day, sustained minor injuries. Several people transported to the hospital. The sheriff says that police and fire first received reports of a vehicle fire and explosion around 8:40 local time this morning. The fire department responding within just a few minutes, 4 minutes, they say. And the sheriff also pointing out that the 2024 Cybertruck pulled up to the front glass doors of the Trump Hotel and it started smoking. Shortly thereafter, there was an explosion and fire. Witnesses describe hearing a really loud sound, bangs, explosions, and then many of them have been evacuated from the hotel. They are still, while the fire is out, they're still urging people to avoid that area. We expect to get more information from law enforcement later today with another news conference expected. But throughout the day, they've been acknowledging a couple of things. Look at the timing, right? It's in the hours hours in the wake of this terrible tragedy in New Orleans to the location. You can see that Cybertruck just outside of Trump Hotel. This is on the northern end of the Las Vegas Strip. And then also you think about who's related to the Cybertruck. Elon Musk, who you had mentioned earlier, had posted a statement earlier today. He was recently appointed a position in President Trump's second administration. We did also hear from the Trump Organization and President-elect Trump's son. They acknowledged a reported electric vehicle fire, also saying in part the safety and well-being of our guests and staff remain our top priority. We extend our heartfelt gratitude to the Las Vegas Fire Department and the local law enforcement. As you had mentioned, the Cybertruck was rented. It was rented to an individual, according to sources, for the month of December. It was the same rental company that facilitated the truck rental in New Orleans. But again, we should underscore that officials do not believe these incidents are connected at this time.
So a couple questions that I have, which you may not know the answers to, and great to say that if you don't. First and foremost, we can kind of be assured that there was nobody from the Trump family, from kind of Trump orbit, from Musk orbit, that were anywhere near and or inside the Trump hotel.
No one has indicated that to us, but again, we couldn't say for sure at this point. Yeah.
And you talked about people that had actually seen what had taken place, bystanders that were watching this happen. Did they at all mention any struggle from the driver from inside the vehicle to actually exit the vehicle, that they saw the driver kind of in distress during this moment in which the Cybertruck blew up?
No, we haven't heard. A lot of people were hearing it, like they were in the hotel, they were in their hotel room, or maybe there was some video of the flames like what you're seeing right there. I think the other thing to note is, yet again, here we are in this position of a high-profile event in Las Vegas, so many people. It's naturally a hot tourism spot, but also when you consider the New Year's Eve celebrations, the number of people in town, there's already these amped-up security measures, and now, as we've been reporting throughout the day, police agencies ramping them up even more in the wake of the New Orleans incident, and now this one that is also being investigated as this possible terror attack.
Stay with me if you can. Okay, I want to bring in Tom Winter to talk more about this, then also shifting gears, obviously, to what we've been following all day out of New Orleans.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking.
All right, guys, we got some stuff going on. Happy New Year. 'Cause this is a hell of a way to kick off the new year, with one outgoing administration and one incoming administration. A lot of moving pieces. I wanted to see. I'm gonna look to see if something from Joe Biden and see if he's already acknowledged this, because it's a big deal, and I don't know if in the past we've had, like this much engagement over the same topic, you know what I'm saying, at a time. But it's the first time when we say Happy New Year, and it's like, is it? Be grateful for what you got going on, of course. You know what I'm saying? So these attacks, you know what I'm saying, are coming on the heels of a lot of other, like big changes in government and insurance. There's a lot of moving pieces, man. So I want to make sure that we all have the same information at the same time as much as possible, because I care a lot about media literacy. I care about people getting all of the information that they need to make make current situations make sense, because you get a lot of fear mongering, and we need to see the same things at the same time. So we're gonna watch President Biden give his 2 cents.
Security advisors to approach the podium shortly. He's at Camp David, where he went to spend this remaining part of the New Year's weekend. I'm joined here at the table by Nicole Skanga. Nicole, where are we in the terms of this investigation as we wait for President Biden to come out and address the country?
Major, well, right now, police, law enforcement, the FBI in the lead of this investigation. They are searching this 42-year-old suspect's home, both in Texas and the Airbnb in which he stayed in New Orleans. In addition to that, continuing to analyze all of the forensic.
Nicole, let me interrupt for President Biden's remarks.
Our hearts are with the people of New Orleans after a despicable attack that occurred in the early morning hours. To all the families of those who were killed, to all those who are injured, to all the people of New Orleans who are grieving today, I want you to know, I grieve with you. Our nation grieves with you. We're going to stand with you as you mourn and as you heal in the weeks to come. I want to thank our brave first responders and law enforcement personnel who stopped the attacker in his tracks before he could kill or injure even more people. And I want to thank you to everyone at the Department of the Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, including the FBI, for working nonstop to investigate this heinous act. The FBI is leading the investigation to determine what happened, why it happened, whether there was any continuing threat to public safety. Here's what we know so far. The FBI has reported to me the killer was an American citizen, born in Texas. He served in the United States Army on active duty for many years. He also served in the Army Reserve until a few years ago. The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. The ISIS flag was found in his vehicle, which he rented to conduct this attack. Possible explosives were found in the vehicle as well, and more explosives were found nearby. The situation is very fluid, and the investigation has a preliminary stage. And the fact is that right now, excuse me, there you go. The law enforcement and intelligence community are continuing to look for any connections, associations, or co-conspirators. We have nothing additional to report at this time. The investigation is continuing to be active, and no one should jump to conclusions. I've directed my Attorney General, the FBI Director, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the head of the National Counterterrorism Center, and the intelligence community to work on this intensively until we have a full and complete information. And once we have that information, I will share that information as soon as we can confirm it. Additionally, we're tracking the explosion of a cyber truck outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Law enforcement and the intelligence community are investigating this as well, including whether there's any possible connection with the attack in New Orleans. Thus far, there's nothing to report on that score at this time. I directed my team to make sure every resource is made available to federal, state, and local law enforcement to complete the investigation in New Orleans quickly and to make sure there's no remaining threat to the American people. And we'll support the people of New Orleans as they begin the hard work of healing. New Orleans is a place unlike any other place in the world. It's a city full of charm and joy. So many people around the world love New Orleans because of its history, its culture, and above all, its people. So I know, while this person committed a terrible assault on the city, the spirit of our New Orleans will never, never, never be defeated. It always will shine forth. We've seen that time and time again throughout its history, and I know we'll see it again in the days and weeks ahead. May God bless the people of New Orleans. May God bless our police and our first responders. May God protect our troops, and we'll keep you fully contemporaneously informed. Thank you.
Have you spoken to President Trump? Are you concerned about more attacks? Have you spoken to President Trump? Investigated as a terror attack?
From Camp David, President Biden describing the terror attack in New Orleans hours after the strike of New Year's, a despicable attack. Importantly, the president saying, quoting what the FBI told him, that hours before the attack, the assailant, quoting the president here, posted videos saying he was inspired by ISIS. The president also noting an ISIS flag was found on the vehicle involved in this murderous assault on Bourbon Street in the French Quarter of New Orleans. Also, President Biden noting the explosion of a Tesla Cybertruck outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas, saying that investigators are probing to see if there's any relationship whatsoever to the terror attack in New Orleans. The president said nothing to report on that score at the moment. Nicole Skanga, continuing our conversation, your impressions from President Biden's remarks and the notation that he made which I believe is the first from a federal source, that the FBI is now convinced that the assailant posted videos hours before the attack.
Yeah, an indication there that the assailant might have a premeditated intention that was broadcast on social media ahead of this attack. The first indication we've gotten of that, we know that he had a very active YouTube account, and right now FBI and other investigators scouring that digital footprint to determine exactly what was the ideology, how did radicalization unfold in the days and weeks ahead of this atrocious attack. Other things I took away from the president's remarks, that investigators are still looking for any connections, any co-conspirators there, Major. We heard from law enforcement today that made it seem as though they felt this suspect had not acted alone. We await more details, more evidence of why it is they know that. He had said there that he directed the Attorney General, the FBI director, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the NCTC director, to work intensely on this to create a full investigation, in part because so many Americans are concerned right now, to offer a sense of security and satisfaction to the American people. At this point, you mentioned the explosion of the cyber truck. We know that one individual was inside the cyber truck, several others suffering minor injuries. No indication from federal law enforcement sources I've spoken to of a connection, but given the timing of this, and by the way, that it seems that both of these vehicles were rented in sort of premeditated acts independently as of this point, looking into possible connections, and officials in Las Vegas also taking all possible precautions, sweeping the streets there, a heightened law enforcement presence on the ground.
One confirmed fatality in the Las Vegas Cybertruck explosion. I will go now to the North Lawn of the White House. CBS News correspondent Scott MacFarlane. The president also noted, Scott, and I'm sure that this was something you paid attention to as well as I, that the intelligence community is in on this, joining the FBI, suggesting that this is not just a domestic matter, it is an international matter that the president wants his team to investigate to the fullest. And he said he would report to the country as soon as information can be confirmed. January this month will have many high-profile events here in the nation's capital. The attack in New Orleans will clearly underscore the preparations and the level of heightened security in that regard.
It didn't happen in a vacuum, did it, Major? It happens in the final days of the Biden administration. These remarks tonight from Camp David, and the president didn't just say, he emphasized, don't jump to conclusions. The investigation's ongoing. And we know from our CBS News reporting here at the White House, the president was briefed quite early this morning by the CIA, the FBI, national security officials, and here in Washington, D.C. tonight, the D.C. Metropolitan Police tell CBS News there is a more visible presence they have now, effective immediately, and these major events are coming here in Washington. Run down the list. January 6th, the electoral count is certified. That has been designated a national security special event due to what happened 4 years ago. January 7th through the 9th, President Carter lies in state at the U.S. Capitol. Then, of course, January 20th, another one of those national security special events, the inauguration of President-elect Trump. There are going to be enormous security perimeters, blockades, checkpoints based on those being huge events, but also major cities around the country likely reconfiguring or reimagining their security near heavy pedestrian areas.
Scott MacFarlane, North Lawn of the White House. It's also worth noting that the Sugar Bowl was supposed to kick off tonight, 7:45 local time in New Orleans. It has been postponed, that kickoff, until 4 p.m. tomorrow. New Orleans will turn its attention to that, plus Mardi Gras and a Super Bowl. But as the president noted, New Orleans is grieving, and the president said he grieves with that great American city. Our coverage will continue on CBS News 24/7, your local news. And for some of you, you will turn to see the CBS Evening News. This has been a CBS News special report from Washington. I'm Major Garrett. Good evening.
What's going on, man?
Man, look like chaos.
Yeah, it's a lot going on right now. Can you hear me?
It's a real chaos going on, right?
Yeah, can you hear me pretty good?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
I'm using my laptop camera today, so that's what I'm rocking with. You know what I'm saying? So this is why it's so ugly. But yeah, man, I wanted to jump on because the thing in New Orleans, I was like, okay, this is a little wild right here. You know, he's an American citizen. I guess he's got some type of ties to ISIS. Is that correct?
that's the flag that they
Yeah.
said was wrapped around on there.
That's what I
There's a
saw.
lot of alleged. We got to do a lot of allegedly right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But dude was 42 years old,
Yep.
a resident of Houston,
Yep.
Army veteran,
Yep.
real estate agent. I found that out in like the last hour or so. Did you see the clip about his? I'm gonna play his clip so you can catch up real quick.
Good evening. I'm Shamsuddin Jabbar, property manager with Blue Meadow Properties and team lead at the Midas Group at Core Realty. I just want to say hello and let you know a little bit about me. So I'm born and raised in Beaumont, Texas, and now live in Houston. And I've been here all my life, with the exception of traveling for the military, where I spent 10 years as a human resources specialist and IT specialist, where I learned the meaning of great service and what it means to be responsive and take everything seriously, dotting I's and crossing T's to make sure that things go off without a hitch. So I've taken those skills and applied them to my career as a real estate agent, where I feel like what really sets me apart from other agents is my ability to be able to, one, be a fierce negotiator. So not only do I brilliantly market your property to make sure it gets sold as quickly as possible or gets leased as quickly as possible, but I'm also going to take every ounce of energy and putting it into negotiating for you and for your property to get the best deal that you can possibly get for it. So once we get to the closing table, all the I's are going to be dotted, all the T's are going to be crossed, everything's going to go off without a hitch. And that is my word that I'm giving to you as your real estate agent.
You just don't know what a person's going through, do you?
Man, we don't know who people connected to.
Right.
That's
Right.
more important. Like it's like a movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And and I say that I say that in the art imitating life and life imitating art. It's a circle of it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have one without the other. And then it has to have a place to return to. It comes from your imagination, and then you make it real. You know what I'm saying? In the objective reality. And then the behavior and intent of that person leads to an actual event. And then it changes reality for everybody else, you know?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So that's why I talk so much about, I don't like arguing with people, bro. Like, all things are true. That's what, you know what I'm saying, I decided to title this segment anyway, is because it doesn't matter if you think it's real, honest, true, or whatever. There's somebody out there that's going to go beyond whatever your expectation is. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I saw some other videos too of the carnage, the immediate aftermath of the New Orleans attack. I'm
Yeah, I
talking about
saw
body
that.
parts in the street,
Yeah.
folks ran over,
Yep. I
and
saw
out of
that.
respect for the timeline and people that may have some loved ones, because I know a lot of people from the New Orleans, Baton Rouge area that might be, and then people that might just be visiting down there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In town with a lot of people for the Sugar Bowl.
For the Sugar Bowl, yeah.
Crazy. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like,
And that's the reason, I think that's the reason why they went ahead and postponed it,
Well,
because they don't know if it's anything else.
they don't know what else is
behind
going on.
this. Right. So
Because
and
they were
Go
talking about Taylor Swift's concerts being subject to terrorist attacks.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying, overseas, and
Yep.
and that's going to get a lot of people to turn out. You know what I'm saying, maximum payoff as far as a target is concerned. You know,
Right.
from a targeting perspective, and then to watch this stuff unfold like right here in front of you, this just lets you know, like, this guy was homegrown.
Mm-hmm.
By his own words. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, being in the military for 10 years probably played a you know what I'm saying, some level of factor in terms of execution and, you know what I'm saying, and planning and all of that stuff, right? But you don't know you don't know what motivates people. And then not only that, the stigma of him, you know, like having, you know what I'm saying, a Muslim name. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I don't even know what he look. Is he black and Muslim or what?
I think he's black. He says he's from Beaumont. So as far as I'm concerned, you know what I'm saying, like until ethnically and audibly, he sounded like a black man. You know what I'm saying? That was
Yeah.
born and raised in Texas. For the most
Yeah.
part.
I gotta get the whole.
Yeah, that's why I say allegedly. There's a lot of
Because
alleged stuff
I'm
right
looking
there.
at hair, I'm looking at his eyebrows, I'm looking at all the. You look like you got
Yeah,
some hair.
he might be black by culture
Right.
and phenotype, but like
Right.
I don't know, man.
Right.
It's too many.
Yeah.
You gotta dig in a person's past and see how they was
Yeah.
raised before
Now,
you.
as far as the other thing that we saw today,
Trump.
the Trump thing, yeah.
What
With
you think about that?
Yo, that right there, we all know that that was personal. That was a personal warning. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but
Because not only did you set fire to a Tesla truck, you did it in front of Trump Towers. You know what I'm saying? So that's Elon and Trump. And the thing is that we've already heard from Kash Patel how much he's going to be releasing when it comes to certain lists and things like that. We've already seen Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy talking about auditing the government and actually releasing how the government has spent money, stupidly. You know what I'm saying? So there's people that don't want any of that stuff to come out. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that don't want any of this stuff to come out. So, and they're thinking, I guess, that this Trump administration with what I call his goons, they really going to, they're gonna flip the United States on its head, man. They're gonna be like, it's gonna be a whole lot of people like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, so this has been going on like this, like this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it's a lot of warnings, man. You got to take into account. You've had 2 assassination attempts. One almost got him, half an inch away. Almost got him, almost dead. And then the other one could have been, you know what I'm saying? Could have been another one. You know what I'm saying? So there are powerful people in play here. And then if you look at the shit talker between Tom Homan and the cartels and all this shit,
the borders are,
bruh,
yeah,
like it's getting heavy, bruh. Like,
it's kind of spicy,
right?
It's
So
kind of spicy.
you don't know where this shit is gonna come from. You know what I'm saying? I do feel like, and hell, Tom Clancy on one of the which book was that I read of Tom Clancy? He was talking about going to war with Mexico.
Oh yeah, they want the smoke too. If they,
yeah,
that's been. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they can get it.
They can get it. Yeah, if that's what they want to do. I mean, it's gonna be over in like 15 minutes, but all right.
They're gonna find what they weren't looking for.
I watched a documentary the other day, and it was a cartel versus the Marines, and they showed how fast the Marines wrapped up certain battles and everything. You know what I'm saying? Things that they weren't even supposed to be a part of, but they had to go in and knock off some people real quick, and they showed how fast they did it. They showed the professionalism and the efficiency of the Marines, comparatively speaking to the cartel, who are nowhere near that efficient. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know where they're getting this idea to where they want to, do whatever they want to the U.S. I have no idea. It's wild, man.
Yeah, they got a limited ability to affect things. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The reality is that it doesn't take much to incite, you know what I'm saying, like fear and chaos,
Mhm.
and that's why I kind of want to bring this up. Hey, shout out to Don Keith watching. This is chaos for sure. I think this will be just the start of mass chaos this month.
Yes.
There will be more coming from the Dems.
Yep.
Leading up to the inauguration, it has me leery of large crowds.
Yeah. Right now, and hey, man, I'm 100% with Don on that, bro. It's something fishy going on here. You know what I'm saying? It definitely is. And I don't know if Don had seen the list of breakouts that's supposed to happen in the next 2 or 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Basically another pandemic. You know what I'm saying?
I've been seeing a lot of this bird flu ramp up stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like just break out the viruses that we already got.
Yeah, where did this come from?
Don't make
You know what I'm
nothing
saying?
new.
So you're telling me, okay, so COVID just went into remission, you know, for 4 years straight. And then right at the end, right before Donald Trump takes office, okay, now we have COVID spikes back. Now we have this neurovirus that we don't even know what the hell it is. We have this this virus that has a dry cough to it and lung issues. We can't identify what the hell that is. Okay, come on now, y'all, Democrats, you're making it too damn obvious at this point, bro. Like
Yeah.
what you're trying to do is I think they hear great ideas coming out of the Trump administration, and they don't want him to even have a chance to fix hell even 5% of the problem that we're having right now. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not even 5%.
Man, you know what I thought about, man, in the middle of all of this chaos
Yeah,
was Trump's approval rating plummeting when how he handled the COVID response.
absolutely right.
Because during his administration in 2016, he got, I'm thinking about the bad report card marks he got. You know what I'm saying? That brought the most attention. He had a situation where some veterans got attacked, some active duty veterans got attacked in Niger.
Yep.
And then how he handled the Gold Star family, you know,
Yeah.
of the fallen.
Yeah.
After that,
Yeah.
it was some conflicts in Yemen. I remember, you know, that was kind of like getting some attention. Think about foreign policy stuff, right?
Right.
He kind of ducked and dodged those things, and I looked at it like, well, he was a new president, and then it's like any new job, right? You come in, you think you know, like getting there is the main goal, right? And then you get in here, there's a bunch of stuff you have to deal with. He had a lot of cabinet turnover because General Maddox, you know, got out of uniform from being a Marine to taking over as I think the Secretary of Defense, and then he resigned. There was a lot of moving pieces when it came down to that, and then he kind of ducked and dodged a lot of that. He handled that. I don't know how we would have rated that compared to anybody else. I don't, you know what I'm saying? It's about, you know, like damage control, right? Because that's what the president does, has played damage control very well.
Yeah.
Because you can't apologize for what happened, because you can't control somebody else's, you know what I'm saying, intent. When they're locked in to go do something, you can't do anything about that, right? Then we had the COVID response. When it was a late response, they said they knew about it in some part of, some people were saying COVID was around in October, November. I believe it was. And they got notification sometime, you know, prior to the administration changeover, if I'm not mistaken. And then he just didn't handle it well, you know. And then his approval rating plummeted. He didn't, you know what I'm saying, win the second term because he did run. He lost to Biden because of that. And I was always saying that was kind of a knee-jerk administration. You know what I'm saying? People's mad, emotional vote, bring Biden in office. And then now, with Biden getting ready to leave office, and all of these weird situations happening, you know, and this is more kinetic on domestic soil, you know what I'm saying, this time around. And then don't forget January 6th, you know what I'm saying, with the what do they call it? The insurrection.
The insurrection, yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to leave that out. You know what I'm saying? The insurrection of, you know what I'm saying, in the United States Capitol, the clearly some level of inside work, you know what I'm saying, to facilitate
definitely.
to say the least.
Definitely.
Allegedly. A bunch of people getting locked up over the last couple of years about it.
Yeah.
Then the retribution administration that we're watching right now, because they got back in there, is like been back and forth, right?
Right. Absolutely.
And then it looks like a lot of crisis acting going on. You know what I'm saying? A lot of stuff. Everybody's playing the same tricks at different times at very key moments. And it's inciting fear. You know what I'm saying? People have already been on edge the last couple of years because emotionally people just don't have any type of emotional discipline like I talk about all the time because economics is crazy right now. People's
Oh
emotions
yeah.
is high coming off the
Oh yeah.
holidays and going into this you know what I'm saying, this next what is this? It's gonna be second quarter of the new year soon. They
Mm-hmm.
barely got a bill passed to keep the government from shutting down yet
Mm-hmm.
again. It's a lot of it's a lot of moving pieces. I say the least about that.
Right, right. Don, he's talking about this. Yeah, that Vegas
Yeah,
truck explosion.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I have to agree on that. Just definitely symbols, on how that was done. And I mean, I'm surprised that there are no camera angles, anything put out yet. The only camera angle I've seen was inside the building when the fire, or explosion started or whatever.
And here's the other thing too, right? They said that vehicle was booked on Turo.
Are you talking about you're talking about the truck that
The
old boy
Cybertruck.
ran?
The
Okay,
the Cybertruck explosion was a Turo booking. So like the Cybertruck explosion being a Turo booking. So you got Turo, you got Elon, then you got Trump outside of a Trump property
right,
in the north end of Vegas. You know what I'm
right.
saying? I don't know if you've been to Vegas before, but Vegas has never not been crowded ever.
Hmm.
You know, it gets attention, and for it to happen the way it did, even the news anchors that were talking, they couldn't connect to see if they were both related, but it would be kind of short-sighted. You would be remiss not to leave room for them to potentially be connected based on location,
Hmm.
um, because it would be like I said, you'd be remiss to not think that they're connected simply because of the date, the time, the location, the population,
Right.
the specific location, like the who, what, where, when, and why.
Hmm.
Um, so that's why everything is on the table at this point when it comes down to this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody could have imagined that this would happen, but the truth is it's not abstract. It's not normal. I mean, it's not abnormal. You know what I'm saying? We just haven't had a significant event in a minute for us to really see it all at the same time.
Hmm.
So
Hmm. Now, have they? I haven't seen any type of picture or anything like that of the person that drove the truck. Have they released that yet?
no,
I mean,
I hadn't
I
seen
know.
any
Yeah, he
that
was
that
killed. He was killed in the explosion. You know what
yeah,
I'm
he was
saying?
killed in the explosion, right.
Right. So, did he have a thing laced with a bomb, or just
Too early to tell. Way too early to tell. Because
man,
yeah, that's what they said there was some other
man?
things exploding going off in it, but they don't know what you don't know is the truck is battery powered.
Right.
So the batteries could be exploding that was already in the truck.
Oh, hold
You know.
on.
Oh,
McKinley, my
McKinley
boy
said
McKinley said,
they
yeah, they have.
well,
Where can I find that pic at, homeboy? Or if you can,
let me see if I
send
can
that.
find some. Let me see if I can find
Yes,
some.
yeah. Or if you have it, McKinley, go ahead and send it on the inbox or something. That way we can put it up because I want to see who that gentleman looks like too. Like I said, that other gentleman that did that. Well, I can't call him gentleman. We'll just call him a terrorist. So
Yeah,
he's a Middle Eastern looking guy too.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys been keeping up. I don't want to start any type of conspiracy theories or any fear mongering or anything like that. But you guys remember when the drones were really heavy in New Jersey and places like that. So Joe Rogan had a guy on his show who
Hmm.
was talking about those sightings, and he said, "Why do you think there's so many drone sightings going around right now?" He said, "Well, what I think is we lost track of a nuclear warhead from the 80s that was in Ukraine. It's made its way over here. They've tracked it
Hmm.
over here, and what they're trying to do is they're trying to find radiation detections."
Mm.
With these drones, so it's U.S. drones. They just don't want to tell you why they're up there flying around. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
go on YouTube.com or YouTube or whatever on the app and just type in Joe Rogan drones. Watch that whole interview right
Oh,
there, and
I
it'll
just
it'll
found
break
I
it
just
down.
found a video of the explosion for the Tesla
All
truck
right, let's see that,
from
man, because
a
I hadn't
different angle.
seen that. Yeah,
Well,
because I saw it from the inside. They showed it from the inside of the
I
actual
got one
hotel.
from the outside for right now.
Yeah, I want to
Give me
see
a
that.
second. I'm getting the video uploaded right now.
All right.
But this is but that's how fast information travels too. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
That's like I said. It's gonna be multiple angles of it anyway because it's cameras everywhere, so it just makes sense.
yep. Here we go. I'll pull it up right now. Give me a second. That way we can see the same thing.
Yeah, I want to see this thing.
It's uploading. Here we go.
All right, play it. Copy.
Oh, play that
Joe.
again. Play that again. Play that again.
All right. That is
That's a
extremely
bomb.
yeah.
All right, play it. Copy.
That's a bomb.
That
Yeah.
and that's just some footage that I just went and found off of TikTok, you know what I'm saying, just to kind of give a reference. But like that looked like the same location.
Mm-hmm.
It looks that was definitely a Tesla truck.
Yeah, it definitely was.
And
Now the thing that I have in and what I'm thinking about is like, okay, was it a bomb or did that guy figure out how to make that Tesla truck do
that's
that?
what I'm saying. Like it's in the forensics, which is what needs that. Like what happens in a situation like this, you do a PBA called a
Right.
post blast analysis.
Okay.
They bring in guys that are pyrotechnics, really good with explosives, basically do the DNA of the explosives that was used, try to figure out if it's something they've seen before, what type of trigger it was it remote detonated? Because this is the thing, you might have put somebody in the truck and their job was just to drive the truck there. You know what I'm saying? And if that person wanted to detonate it, and if he didn't want to do it, you know what I'm saying, it's something else. Yeah, he said.
So check this. So the reason why I'm asking this question, did he figure out how to make that truck do that? If you've ever had a hybrid, which I have a hybrid Toyota, and it had a bad cell in it, and it wasn't registering, it wasn't reading by the system. That bad cell made such a loud explosion in the back of my Toyota. It scared the hell out of me, bro. When I said it was smoky as hell back, and it was one cell. That cell may be maybe 16 inches by 12 inches. That's how big that battery cell is. You know what I'm saying? And so that one cell made that type of explosion and scared the hell out of me. Like I said, smoked out my damn car. So what if you could make a Tesla
Yeah,
battery like
that's what I'm
over?
saying.
Yeah.
Because if you because think about it, right? If you could take a bunch of materials
Right.
and create an explosive device to put in there, then why can't you turn the whole vehicle into an explosive device?
Right. I see that Don said it looked like the fireworks setting off to the truck to me. It did look like fireworks
Yeah.
at some point. And McKinley, he said, could it be a bomb, but that happened to said
A
could
fully
be a
electric
bomb, but
car.
that could happen to any fully
Yeah.
electric car.
And
And just what I'm explaining, like when it
Yep.
malfunctions, yes, that could absolutely happen because it happened to me personally. It didn't blow up my car, but that one cell, like I said, 16 by 12 cell created such an explosion. Let's say if all those cells at one time exploded at one time, I'd be dead easily. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Easily.
Yeah, and then the battery's made out of lithium.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of different ways it could go.
And see, man, if you checked out the movie that was made by Obama and Michelle a little while back, what's that movie called? Where at the end you saw the mushroom cloud in New York, and you saw the deer and everything. If you notice what car
What was it, Civil War or something like
it
that?
wasn't Civil War. It's not Civil War. It's hold on, let me look it up. See here,
Is
just a
that
second.
that M. Night Shyamalan movie? Or you
Hold
said
on.
something about Joe Rogan and these drones, right?
Right. I did say Joe Rogan and Joe. They talked about that. But yeah, it's the Leave the World Behind. Yeah, Leave the World
That's
Behind.
it, right? That's the M. Night
Um,
Shyamalan movie, I
right.
think.
So did you notice the car that they used as far as the one that lost control
It
and
was
just
a
kept?
Tesla.
It was a Tesla.
Yeah,
You
it
know
was
what I'm
going
saying?
crazy. Yeah,
Right.
all of them.
Yeah. So sometimes I look at movies and I'm like, what are you trying to say here? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
okay, what's going on? What are you trying to leak out to the people and say, yo, some crazy shit's about to happen? And the thing is, like, right now, it's just the perfect time because, like I said, you know, you got the Trump administration coming in. They do not want that to go smoothly. And I hate to say it, I think there are some outliers in the Democratic Party that are trying to set some things off, man. You got the far right, you got the far left.
And
It
it's a
just
lot
is
of
what it is.
enemies too, man.
Yeah.
Like let's just go beyond the typical actors and agitators that you would have right in front of you. You know,
Mhm.
there's some people that just invested in conflict.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And you got a lot of enemies.
Mhm.
You got, from a foreign policy perspective, right?
Mhm.
Is I think the Trump administration had some high visibility or some level of involvement. Remember that guy? He was a reporter in Turkey named Khashoggi, and they found him hacked up and stuff. And they was talking about that. I think he was from Turkey, and they hacked him up in Saudi Arabia or something like that.
Right.
That was a big deal. Don't know how that plays into it, but I'm only talking about things that was high visibility that brought attention to the administration and how they deal with foreign affairs. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because foreign affairs can trigger a domestic situation or a situation that looks domestic. You don't know what it's connected to because you don't know all the details. But I think that it's really important from a media literacy perspective to have a discussion around this, because like if we just walk past and be desensitized to it and not care, then eventually you're gonna have a situation where you lack situational awareness, cause a problem. It said, check this out. It said they're saying that fireworks, gas cans, and camping fuel was used. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It probably that's one of those type of situations based on that material that, what I'm saying, fleshes out to be exactly what they used. That was meant to just get somebody's attention. They didn't want to level a building or nothing like that. But remember after 9/11, remember before 9/11 when you could just run through the airport?
Yeah, of course.
And after that, it was like, now you can't even imagine it. Like, let's say if you
Right.
just been flying in like the last 15, 16 years, right?
Mhm.
You've never not seen Homeland Security and TSA stacked up everywhere. You know what I'm saying? You've never not seen that. But if
Mhm.
you lived before 9/11, security in airports was always, you know what I'm saying? It was non-existent pretty much.
Absolutely.
And yeah, you can still get caught with some things. You had metal detectors, and as far as I remember, because it was still people getting caught with cocaine and stuff on them and things like that too, you know. But 9/11 changed the world, changed the way people manage security and physical security. And then you got a lot of reinforcement of that same paranoia, which is valid, because you got valid paranoia, and then you got, what I'm saying, just paranoia in general. But the validity
Mhm.
is based on whether or not something similar has already occurred. Just like you remember the movie Heat, um,
Mhm.
and with Val Kilmer, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, and then I remember some guys robbing a bank, armored up, you know what I'm saying, and
Mhm.
getting into, what I'm saying, a pew pew fest,
Right.
in California, using a car as a block and everything, real tactical. They didn't they didn't get the money, but they was willing to do it. And
Right.
some people, they care about the attention. They don't have a plan of going home to eat anyway. They
Right.
gonna leave it all out on the field. You know what I'm saying? So these events that we're seeing, they get modeled somewhere. They definitely get modeled somewhere, and they have impact on people depending on what their level of emotional stability is.
Mhm.
It's not hard to inspire people because you can be whatever you want to be. Whether you can be successful at it is something else. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely.
that is, we have to start thinking a little bit more compartmentalized and really leaving room to have our opinions changed on these things that we're seeing. Because, man, like, it's the first day of 2025.
Right. Bro, that's the scary thing about it, bro.
First day.
You know what I'm saying? So first day, you already have those extremes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, so if you look at any type of news about the migrant situation that we have, the border crossings and stuff like that, we're talking, I think 150 known terrorists were arrested,
Mm-hmm.
and like 50 remain unaccounted for.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So come on, bro. That's 50 people out here that want to do harm to this country, and we don't know where the fuck they're at.
Man,
that's even scarier. You know what I'm saying? We have no idea where these people are. And we have no idea what type of artillery they have or what type of mechanism that they have to cause mass deaths. We don't
you know
know.
what? The machinery is one thing, and the weaponry is something else. But one thing that is more dangerous than all of that is influence and the ability to inspire.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So that is what I'm paying attention to. I want to see who's the one that's motivated. You know what I'm saying? Because people like that, they get called up to go do something. They work off of, you know what I'm saying, notification stuff. And so they need to figure out, like, but that guy said ISIS, right? So let's just take
It
it for
was the
what they
ISIS
said.
flag, yeah.
Yeah, so that means somebody with some big money is invested in causing chaos and discrediting, you know what I'm saying, like the ability for people to protect themselves.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And then did you also hear in there they said they're using AI as well
Yeah.
to
Of course.
to propagate this stuff too?
Of
Like
course. Of course. Of course.
the full force. Like, what's next? Drones? I mean, it gotta. I'm not trying to predict it and will it here, but I watch a lot of the conflict footage from Ukraine and Russia. They using drones like
crazy. Did
like
you see
crazy.
the dudes that was in the ditch hiding and you could hear the drones above them?
I'm
Right,
like,
right.
oh
And all you
man.
heard was boom. I was like, oh my God. Like, yo,
Yeah.
it's another level, bro. And to think that you have that here in the United States. Where could you use a drone like that and create so much damage and so much death? Dude, it's a I don't even want to think about it, man. I really don't want to think about what's going to happen these next 4 years. Don, I feel what you're saying. You said, watch, the next 4 years will either be super great or very violent. And I think the most of the violence will be in blue states because they'll be able to get away with it. Quite possibly. Quite possibly. I think there's going to be some problems. I'm going to say another pandemic. I'm just going because I can see it setting up right now. I can see it setting up right now in my city. If you go by any of our emergency facilities, emergency hospital facilities, they are jammed packed. I'm talking about it looks like COVID here. They've released different statements and everything in the city talking about these different viruses and everything that we don't know what they are or anything. And we're starting to see an uptick again, same exact way. People are starting to wear masks in my city again, Vic. Like, we're talking about a lot of people. My sister-in-law just came over here, masked up.
And we
You know what I'm
can't
saying?
say it's not happening. It can't happen again when it's already happened.
Yeah. 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 Absolutely.
Man,
Absolutely. For those people, I mean, go ahead.
I was about to say, man, the motivation. Well, what the motivation to get in here and be manipulative with people's, you know what I'm saying, like expectations every day.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost like they had drones in a Terminator.
Yeah.
They just look different. They had them in the Matrix.
Yeah.
And
Sure did.
and now we're watching real combat footage of, you know what I'm saying, soldiers fighting in different conflicts across the globe. We see it in real time with clarity. I've seen plenty of troops from both the Ukraine and Russia getting knocked off effectively from a robot. You know, with somebody controlling it and stuff. But the part that I just couldn't, like I wouldn't say account for, but I just think that the AI element is a big deal. And it's useful for a lot of things, right? But in a weapon, if it's in the wrong hands of a person that's, you know what I'm saying, ideologically motivated to inflict chaos, it's like, bro, I feel like we're in a Transformers episode or GI Joe. You know what I'm saying? That weapon falls into the wrong
Right.
hands,
Right.
type
Right.
of
Right.
situation. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
People get to be
Yeah.
as diabolical as they want to really be, man.
Man, bro, it's crazy, bro. Like I'm just seeing too much of it, bro. Like I said, and if it's not what with weaponry, like I said, I think it's gonna be this pandemic thing because they just been talking about it too much, man. Way too much. You know what I'm saying? So
Man.
the bird flu mutation, that thing is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And they're talking about same thing that they did for COVID. It's come out with this fast vaccination and try to get everybody vaxxed or whatever. But
Man.
it's to the point where it's just getting dumb, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, what 2 days ago, I want to say, what's that news station, One or whatever it is, out of India? They were talking about that China has a new mysterious virus. You know what I'm saying? Ain't that the way that COVID started? China has a new mysterious virus, and then out of nowhere we got a pandemic. Now they're starting to say it again. China has a new experience, a new virus. Now, what's going to happen? You know what I'm saying? At what point do you say to yourself, as the United States, you know what? We done. We can't even work with y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, y'all are some dirty ass people over there, and you're looking to different. So no, man, we're not gonna keep on doing this, bro. Like, what's the point? I mean, so we're risking our lives for cheap goods? What?
Not even risking our lives, you just sit and duck.
Yeah.
See, a risk would be you volunteer and to go into stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To go look for something. The risk comes with being proactive and
Right.
taking initiative to do stuff, right?
Right.
Right now, you just walking around. I wouldn't say taking anything for granted, but you don't have any negative expectations about your personal safety.
Right.
So
Mm-hmm.
unless you're just moving around and moving funny, you know what I'm saying? So for the people that's watching, move about your day accordingly. But this is why, like when Don said large crowds, bro, I am so done. I've been
Yeah.
done with large crowds
Yeah.
for about 20 years easily.
Yeah, bro.
I
Yeah.
seen too much, man, and things go left. And think about, even without all of this extra stuff that we seeing, everybody just don't react to life or death situations the same way. It takes exposure, training, repetition, a lot of this stuff, because man, like that footage that I saw from New Orleans
Yeah, that was
that I
crazy.
haven't posted, like I just seen it in a thread, and I was like, I saw brains in the road,
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
carnage,
Carnage.
carnage,
Yeah, he did.
and
He did a piece of it with guns, but he did a piece of it with a vehicle.
yeah, he had a
You
whole
know,
plan.
so
I
the
watched
thing
him
is
drive the
that
vehicle
right,
slow, see, and he made a hard right and just. I've been to New Orleans a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm.
Been to Bourbon Street many a times, and I know it was on Canal. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like the main street before you wrap down into the actual the French Quarter, where it's just uber populated. You walking around, but like, people get they live on the scene, like feedback right away, and even from the cameras that they had, the angles they had for the truck driving down the road, it just didn't make sense to me. It was hard.
Mm-hmm.
It was hard to understand like why it was so lax.
Right.
but I'm not there. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. There's some
I mean,
places.
but this the same thing happened a couple of days before in Germany, though, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then not to mention, we ain't even talked about the plane crashes that happened last month.
yeah.
You know,
Oh my gosh, you talking about the one in South Korea,
three.
bro? So,
There was three.
right,
There was the crash in Azerbaijan,
yeah.
and 29 people died on that one. There was the emergency landing in Canada because one of the engines that went bad, and they had
Right.
to do like a slide type of landing, but they didn't lose any passengers. And then, of course, the Jeju Air crash
In South
in
Korea.
Korea,
Yeah.
which is insane.
Like the landing gear doesn't deploy, like doesn't come
They
down.
said they had a bird strike that interfered with the electronics that controlled the landing gear.
How does that happen through an engine? Like they said, the dude that was talking about it on the news, he was saying that they have like a, I don't know how he worded it. I forget. He said like a 3-stage, process, like a fail safe, three
Yep.
stages of that.
Yeah,
You know what
there's
I'm
like
saying?
somebody said there was no way it shouldn't have worked. Then I've
Yeah.
already seen people talking about who was on the flight. So it's a bunch of people talking about conspiracies about who was on there. I didn't want to I don't even want to think about it like what it was
Mm-hmm.
to that degree yet, because I can't verify none of that stuff. And I don't know them people. They said they had a lot of officials on it, you know what I'm saying, according to what I've seen on
See,
social media.
yeah. See, that's
And
a whole nother thing,
if you
bro.
see what I'm saying, and then I
Yeah.
just got through watching that movie with Jason Bateman. What is it? Carry On. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh man, chaos. Like
Mm.
chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like you should watch that if you get time. And it's a lot of, you know,
So check this out
manipulation.
right here.
What's up?
So it says New Orleans truck attack adds the growing list of similar incidences, right? So this is of course January.
Share it on the screen.
Hold on, okay.
Yeah, pull it up.
Oh. Yeah.
I got you.
Let me, So it looks like this one right here, January 1st, a new chapter in mass attacks began in Nice, France, in 2016 when a man drove a heavy
Nice,
truck in the
yeah.
crowd. Nice, okay, the heavy truck in the crowds of Bastille Day celebrants. So that's one. That's in 2016.
Yep.
All right. So
I remember that too.
Yeah, we got Mayberg, Germany. I think I just talked about this one. Last month in Germany, a 50-year-old man was charged with multiple counts of murder and attempted murder after police said he plowed a car through crowds at a Christmas market in Magdeburg, killing 5 people and injuring scores. So that's the one that I just talked about when it comes to Germany right there. So you got China. A driver in November rammed his car into a crowd at a sports center in the southern Chinese city of Zuya, killing 35 people and severely injuring 43. So that's crazy. Like then you got Waukesha, Wisconsin. And this is 2022. So a Wisconsin man was convicted in 2022 of killing 6 people and injuring dozens when he drove his SUV. Do you see this shit?
Yeah.
Like, dude, it's crazy. Like, it's starting to be repetition now. Like, it's copycat. So we can no longer say that, oh, well, we got to regulate these, these assault rifles. Yo, these people are doing this shit with cars, with vehicles, bro.
And that's what I'm saying, like ideologically motivated people.
Right.
And that's not even assume that they're all connected. It wouldn't shock me if they potentially were, at all. Because there's very little that we know about people that decide that they're going to make a spectacle out of human carnage. You know what I'm saying? So it is a large gray area of, what I'm saying, a gap in understanding from what we think, what we know, and what we actually see. And we don't even care about history in most cases until something happens in the present. So, it's and it's nothing to brag about, to just be like, oh yeah, I knew this could happen. And a
Right.
lot of people kind of lean on real generic assessments just based on what the
Mm-hmm.
news is saying. Nobody is. This isn't fear mongering at this point.
No.
This is
Yeah.
reality, and
Yeah.
it's being cataloged real time,
Yeah.
where you can't say you didn't know or didn't see it. We got cameras everywhere. It's in 4K. It's on multiple, platforms.
Mm-hmm.
We got a lot of conflicts that exist outside of, what's going on domestically with the average American. And then there's a lot of, external variables too. Um, you don't know how much of it's homegrown. You don't know how much of it is, foreign influence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of.
And man, I saw one of these cartel members. You know, they were
Didn't something
talking.
blow up in Tennessee a few years ago too?
Yes, it did. That was weird.
That was weird.
That was weird because no one was down there. Like no one was downtown at that time, and like you heard the person's voice. He made a voice recording, and it came out of the vehicle, and he gave forewarning that he was going to blow this thing up, and it blew up, a huge explosion. You know what I'm
Huge.
saying? So once again, like I said, like I said, looking at a couple of these videos and going back to Tom Homan and him and the cartel going back and forth, one of the cartel members was like, he needs to understand that we are in control of fentanyl and the flow of fentanyl. We could change this recipe and kill millions of you people if we want to. So he needs to watch what he's saying. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? We're talking about at that point biological warfare at that point.
That
You know.
Yeah, biological, biochemical. I think
Yeah.
that would be qualified underneath biochemical
Biochemical. Yeah, it would be.
because like I watched Outbreak for like the second or third time a few months back,
Mm-hmm.
and it's relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a bit of a spell, like that I believe that most people are under. I believe fear is a spell. Um, because you can choose. Fear is a choice. Having reasonable paranoia is okay,
Yeah.
you know, and concern for your children is okay, But I'm gonna shift to something else real quick. I think uh, I want to show you the other chaos that I've seen, because I said everything's true. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
let me get your take on this.
Did you know that you can order sunlight? It can be completely dark out now, and you can order sunlight from the fake sun. I know you probably like, man, y'all keep crazy. Look, check this out. New company just started where you can order sunlight from your cell phone.
According to The Hindu, Reflect
Hold
Orbital
on.
is a company with plans to sell you sunlight at night.
Hold on. It's called Reflect Orbital. Is a company with plans to sell you sunlight at night. This is from thehindu.com. This article was just updated to give you more details August 29th, 2024 at 12:05 p.m. IST time. It gives you the company names. It says reserve a spot of light. And they showed it how it worked. You can literally go to your phone and download an app, right? Connect it to a simulator that's connected to the sun, and you can order sun at nighttime, which he did, and it turned the sun and it gave a spotlight on Earth. And then they said there's going to be some problems with it because it's not in a precision, and it ends up lighting up the whole area. So they got to do a lot of things and take it through a lot of different basically regulations and lobbies to get it working. But man, they already showing this stuff, man. You can order sunlight through the fake sun.
Point. I just don't get the point. I just don't really get the point of that. Like, who would need other than agriculture?
Under what circumstances would you be in You know
that you
what? I
need
can
the
really
sun at
use the
night.
sun right now.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Like, it
How
doesn't make
long
any
does it
sense.
take for the order to process?
And like I said, agriculture, I could maybe see that to get more yield. You know what I'm saying? Get you a little bit extra sun, throughout the day or whatever. But what type of reflector are they using to the point where they could beam that down to the damn earth and it be the same admittance as the sun? Like, everything ain't meant to be believed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it just is what it
I was
is.
furious when I saw that.
Yeah.
And then I had to let it go because I said all things are true.
Hey, hold on real quick. I can just
Yeah. So for you people that saw that, ordering sunlight, I'm gonna play that again because y'all you heard what you heard, and I'm gonna play it again because y'all need to be just as interested.
Did you know that you can order sunlight? It can be completely dark out now, and you can order sunlight from the fake sun. I know you probably like, man, y'all keep crazy. Look, check this out. New company just started where you can order sunlight from your cell phone.
According to the Hindu, Reflect
Hold
Orbital
on.
is a company with plans to sell you sunlight at night.
Hold on. It's called Reflect Orbital. Is a company with plans to sell you sunlight at night. This is from the Hindu.com. This article was just updated to give you more details August 29th, 2024 at 12:05 p.m. IST time. It gives you the company names. It says reserve a spot of light. And they showed it how it worked. You can literally go to your phone and download an app, right? Connect it to a simulator that's connected to the sun, and you can order sun at nighttime, which he did, and it turned the sun and it gave a spotlight on Earth. And then they said there's gonna be some problems with it because it's not in a precision and it ends up lighting up the whole area. So they gotta do a lot of things and take it through a lot of different basically regulations and lobbies to get it working. But man, they already showing this stuff, man. You can order sunlight through the fake sun.
Hey man, for those of you that watch my platform and stuff, this is why I have to have certain discussion. I'm gonna do a reaction to that. This is part of it too, but let's just say it's true. Let's just mock up some scenarios where you would actually need to order some sun. I got questions. What's the delivery time? Can you point it? Do you have to give grids? For those of you that don't know what grids are, grid will be a geographic location. Is it 10 digit? Is it latitude? Is it in minutes? Daryl Fletcher, you say it's legit and they still working on it. Okay, got it. I believe it. I don't have no reason to doubt it. I'm just going to accept it that it's true because here all things are true, even if it sounds unbelievable. I'm just having a hard time trying to figure out what the function be.
You still thinking about that sun thing?
Yeah, I played the video again to make sure that I
that you understood it correctly. Like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
like
Because I
doesn't...
I don't want to get into saying nah, that's wrong. Like, forget it. Because see, the truth is this, bro. It doesn't matter if I think it's right or wrong.
Right.
Somebody believes that it's right.
Yeah, somebody believes this is a good idea.
Therefore, it exists. All things are true.
So I'm guessing, if I'm thinking about the technology behind it, I can see how you could reflect sunlight, bring it down. Okay, let's say okay, we're nighttime here. So on the other side of the world, of course, it's daytime. If you have a big enough reflector, mirror, whatever you want to call it, on that side, you can bounce that back up, and there be a satellite somewhere in space that's huge, and then bounce it back down.
I'm trying really hard, bro.
Right. That's the only way I can see that happening. But to have this as an option for millions of people to use, like, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I mean, this is the reason why we have lights. I mean, you just cut on the light. And we have lights that give you those vitamins from the sun. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not exactly sure why anybody would want that. But like I say, agricultural purposes, because if you think about people who have growing tents and stuff like that, they have lights, 24/7. It makes the, see, Morris said that. He said
That's
farmers, people that
fair.
grow weed, and people in the greenhouse would jump all on that. Right. I could see those type of people using that. That's it.
And they would definitely have the money to do so,
Right. But what
And
is
a
that
lot
going to
of
throw off though?
here's what let me give it and what I think would be practical if it's true. You know what I'm
What's
saying?
up?
In terms of pragmatic application, it'd be like that too. And I also think that it's a possibility that there's some batteries somewhere that can simulate you know what I'm saying, the power of whatever they think sunlight is. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's somebody way smarter than me would have to explain that to me and tell it to me like I'm 5. Because as of right now, everything that I don't understand that other people believe is true, and I will accept it as being true, you know where I put them at? They on flat earth.
Right. Flat earth
Because
theory, right.
because the way they think is not wrong. Because people believe in whatever they believe.
Right.
Some people believe in Christianity. Some people believe in Hebrew, it being a Hebrew Israelite. Some people are Jewish. Some people are, you name it. However they practice, you know what I'm saying, things that we can't see, faith-based, discussions. My science brain needs evidence.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be the most basic thing. Once they
Oh
show
yeah,
you how it works, you're gonna be like, oh yeah, well that makes sense. You know what I'm
that
saying?
makes that's what I'm saying.
It's
Like
it's
I'm,
kind of
I'm
like how I'm explaining it. You know what I'm saying? I feel like yes, you could do it like that if you wanted to. You know what I'm saying? You could definitely do it like that. I don't know I don't know how much area you could cover. You feel what I'm saying? I don't know how much area you could cover. And like they just said, they haven't homed it in to where it could be just in your area because it's lighting up everything. Well, that's the thing. It's going to lighten up everything any fucking way because
exactly.
it's the light of the sun. So
well, and here's the other part. The reason why I leave room to have my opinion change.
Yeah.
You had to study the sun and know how to do solar technology, and we got solar technology.
Yeah, of course.
So based on that alone, I remember when harnessing the sun's energy for batteries and everything else was a crazy idea, and then they did it. I remember even before then, we already had GPS technology in the military long before a Garmin came out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
And then when a Garmin came out, everybody was like, "That's crazy." And then the Garmin went away because they put that same technology that was in the Garmin on your phone.
Yeah.
People don't even have fold out paper maps no more. A lot of people can't even read a map to even know that the even numbers go east and west and the odd numbers go north and south. Some people can't write in cursive anymore or never learned or never had to.
Yes.
Some people have never signed a check.
Nope.
Because you can deposit it digitally.
You're not gonna have to do that anymore, right?
You're not gonna have to do that anymore. And you can't even shame anybody for not knowing how to do it for real.
No, it's like they're not gonna have to learn how to read an analog clock anymore. That's something that you just don't see. So.
Yeah. I definitely see I believe high school education or the equivalent of it. At some point it's gonna be a series of YouTube videos.
Yeah, it already is that, to be honest with you. So, what's it say? Coach Watts, the quote you said.
Coach, what's the quote?
Oh,
You said everything is all things are true. And it's really that simple. You know what I'm saying? Because whether you believe it or not, it's true for someone else. Because I could know something and the other person might tell me I'm wrong. But that person can only tell me I'm wrong based on what they can process. They already don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like in theory, right? A broke clock is strike. You know what I'm saying? It strikes twice,
a
no
day.
matter what.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you know what also is true? The clock strikes twice for a person that still can't tell time either. So they still getting lucky, even though they can't read. Something happens that, you know what I'm saying, sets them up for a W. They get a win by default. And you know what I'm saying? But with the right, but without the right understanding of stuff, if I handed you a spoon and you ain't never seen the spoon, you don't know it's a spoon. How you gonna call it you can't even call it a spoon. You're gonna use that tool for, you don't even know it's a tool. You don't know what it is until somebody tells you what it is. So, man,
bro, I'm trying to find where this guy saw this at, and I can't see it anywhere. I can't see anyone.
I'm glad you got on here to look too. You know what I'm saying?
I can't. Well, okay, so there's I guess 4 months ago they was talking about. See, it's the same thing. It's a TikTok. So the thing is that when you see things just constantly going on TikTok, but you don't see any relevant sources to that, you got to kind of be like, okay, yeah,
Come on,
this
man.
might be some
Media
bullshit,
literacy. I don't give a damn. Look, can you imagine if you could really? Okay, so I believed it from the way it was presented. Now let me give you what I think over here on spherical Earth. For you people that are on flat Earth, that say the Earth is not round. You know what I'm saying?
Did you see the flat earther who was, I mean, he was like hell bent on the Earth being flat? Actually took his trip to Antarctica. This was like what, 2 weeks ago, and now he knows that the Earth is round, and he was one of the biggest guys when it came to flat earther. You know what I'm saying? And I think he raised $37,000 to go there, and you know, went down there, took the flight or whatever, went down there, and he saw it. He saw how the sun worked and all that. So he's like, nah, it can't be flat. It makes no sense. He's like, not unless somebody else can come up with a different, you know, approach to it. He was like, but I'm down here, y'all, and yeah, it's round.
You know, yeah, I think I did. He was flying like some kind of crazy altitude where he was almost in space. But
I could probably find a video. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, and the other thing too is like, how can you prove that using spherical Earth math,
right,
to determine if Earth is flat? Because all of your metrics, the algebra, the precise calculation of technology is predicated on the Earth being spherical. Because it'd be like, it'd be like me, like for instance, right? I know how to drive. You know how to drive.
Of course.
But you can't drive in Texas the way you drive in Virginia.
Right. No.
You can't make 2 or 3 lefts and think that the neighborhood is configured the same way. You know what I'm saying?
Nope.
Oh, let me see here. Let's check this out.
Yeah, go ahead, bring it up. Here we go. You know, for all the flat earthers out there.
Sometimes you are wrong in life. And I thought that there was no 24-hour sun. In fact, I was pretty sure of it. But I respect Will Duffy for being a stand-up guy, at least in the way that he kept saying it was true. I kept saying it wasn't. He said, "You want to go? I'll take you," and brought me here. And it's a fact. The sun does circle you in the south. It seems like the moon does circle here as well. So start thinking about that as well. It doesn't mean that AE map is over, flat Earth is over. Maybe somebody's got the answer. I don't have that answer.
And what you saw right there was one of these flat earthers coming to a really, really tough realization that he is wrong. Because that is Jaron Campanella, who's been in multiple documentaries about the Earth being flat and runs a flat Earth YouTube channel, Jaronism. Oh boy. And he's finding out that no, the Earth is not flat. In fact, he was flown to the Antarctic for one $35,000 flight by a round earther. In other words, someone who lives in reality, in order to see whether the sun would ever set, right? In the Antarctic, it does not set. It's 24 hours straight. It just goes around and around and around. So he was like, yeah, oops, I saw it. And I guess you could be wrong. And now I'm going to pack it in. Of course, he's not going to pack it in. He's probably gonna figure out some way to grift off of this, but that was amazing. He's like, the rounders are right. Of course, actual flat earthers who still believe, they're calling BS. They think that Jaron actually was in front of a green screen. Flat Earth Dave over on X says the final experiment green screen busted, which I don't even know.
And see the dude that you just saw right there, that crazy looking, guy. And I'm not calling people who believe in flat Earths crazy. I don't want to, take it to that. What I'm saying is like that guy who was holding up the little screen. His whole livelihood is based off of flat Earth, conspiracies, and so many other people, livelihood is based off of this conspiracy theory of a flat Earth or whatever. And for those people, they have to continue to go with the narrative that the Earth is flat, and
they locked in.
Try to prove this man wrong, because if they don't, all their money is gone. You know what I'm saying? So
can you imagine if Dr. Umar started dating white girls right now?
Oh yeah, right.
That'd be the equivalent.
That'd be it. Yeah, nobody would listen to anything he had. It's almost to that point now because of the damn school. But at the end of the day, like, yeah, like it's crazy. Like I was like, I've had so many people try to debate me, especially in barbershops. You know what I'm saying? Talking about the Earth's flat and all these different things, and people showing these cameras of boats never going over the horizon. I'm sitting there, do you know how huge the Earth is?
Do you have any idea?
Like you're less than the size of a flea to this Earth. You're less than the size of a grain of sand to this Earth. You know what I'm saying?
They have no idea.
Yeah, they don't have any idea. So you're not going to see that curvature with any type of camera. No camera has that much zoom to where you're going to eventually see a boat go over.
And then the curvature. It doesn't even matter, Cabby. Let me tell you why. They're going to say it's a fisheye lens.
Oh my God.
Meanwhile,
yeah,
we got Elon catching rockets. What math are the engineers using at SpaceX?
I don't know. It's different. It's definitely different, whatever it is. Yeah, because when I saw that rocket come in and get caught to where he could just reuse it, I was like, okay, Elon got some crazy engineers on his team, bro. They way better than damn not NASA.
Yeah,
for real.
NASA had to bow down. You know what I'm saying? I get it why people felt the way they felt about it too. Because let's just say NASA is a gimmick, right?
Right.
All right. NASA's not running things anymore. Not like that.
No.
And then we got this right here. I'm finna play.
Oh
this.
yeah, you've been to show it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. It was crazy.
This is insane. You know what I'm saying? Like,
see it coming down through the plume.
Yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and post on down.
In hot.
Oh, watch what I'm gonna do.
And ignite 13 of those Raptor engines, and this view is incredible right now. You can see how fast this vehicle is moving on the left hand. Landing burn, 13 ignited. We're now down to 3 Raptor engines.
Yeah.
We can see those chopsticks now.
That's crazy, bro.
It's insane.
Man, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. And if you looked at the bottom and you saw the engines and how the fire was coming out, you can see exactly how it was guiding itself.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I want to watch this one. Let's see how many minutes this one is right here. Oh, this one's 10 minutes. I'm gonna play this one real quick because
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We have liftoff. vehicles pitching downrange.
Yeah, Dr. Umar would be crazy if he liked white girls.
Right, hell yeah, that'd be crazy as hell. Now, this is the only thing about the shape of those rockets always look like dicks. And I don't know if he does that on purpose or what.
Yeah. This thing got 33 rockets on it.
Yeah, I know.
33 engines.
30 seconds into the flight, the rumble's just starting to reach
Down
us
here,
here.
these are all the rockets right there. In the bottom left-hand corner, it's all lit up.
Booster and ship, avionics power, telemetry nominal.
33 Raptor engines.
Max Q.
Now pass through the maximum aerodynamic pressure, the most stress the vehicle's going to see on the way uphill. All right, our next
They say that the booster.
Our next major milestone coming up, it's going to be hot staging. We're going to see the engines ignite on ship to push it away from the booster. All right, so hot staging is going to be the next thing coming up. First, we're going to see the booster's engines start to shut down, all but 3. We're going to do what's called most engines cut off instead of main engine cut off, because 3 are going to keep going, and then we're going to see the engines on ship ignite. Right now, the tower team is doing their go, no go. And we might hear some really good words soon, too. All right.
Auto insurance all seems the same until it's time to use it. With
Damn it,
USAA,
Allstate.
it's
No.
easy to file claims, schedule repairs, and access.
Can still see it up behind me. That is one of the most gorgeous things I've ever seen in my entire life. Coming up on hot staging next.
Ship engine
There's
startup.
most engines cut off.
Stage separation.
It's falling away.
Stage separation, hot stage separation confirmed. Ship under its own power. I'm seeing 6 out of 6 Raptors lit. Hopefully I got a booster on the way back to me. I'm going to send it to you guys in Hawthorne.
Oh man, that was absolutely incredible. I loved how the crowd
chamber pressure is nominal.
Crowd here in Hawthorne all went ooh at that first view of the blue flames from the booster. As you can see there,
I see a
first
curve.
stage currently performing.
Yeah, you can see it.
To me is,
You see the
now
curvature
making
right
its
there,
way
right?
back to
It's not a
the launch
fish out of
site
this.
again. We are.
Ship avionics power and telemetry nominal.
The booster and the tower are both performing automated checks to make sure we are go for the booster to return to the launch pad for that catch. And once those are complete, the flight director.
Booster boost back burn shutdown. Flight directors go for booster return.
And we did hear that the tower.
You see it
is
right there.
go for catch.
Really
So
good right
that
there.
was one of the big criteria
That
we were
looks
looking
pretty
for.
curved to me.
Looks pretty round to me, yeah.
This view
We'll
here.
wait to hear that the gopher catch has been sent.
Beautiful view here from the ship.
And so exciting to hear that we got a go for booster catch. That means it's going to be a really exciting morning. Again, the booster is making its way back towards now land in order to make that catch attempt in the tower.
So incredible to see these views. You can see the ship on the
This is
right-hand side of
crazy.
your screen. All
Yeah,
6
for the
Raptor
fact that the
engines are
boosters
under full
weren't
power.
ever able to be reused.
Once again,
the
ship, excuse me,
now
the
he's
booster
catching
is
those
making
damn
its way
things on
back
Earth.
to
It was
the
catching
launch
the
site.
smaller
We are
ones, too.
going to
Right.
try
My man
and
Steve
catch
Kelly
it using
trolling
the
trying to say
chopsticks
they
on
trying to
the
fool
launch
us with
tower, the
special
exact same
effects.
tower that it just launched from.
No one make it.
Just
No one
about
can
5
make it through
minutes
the
ago.
firmament.
Yeah, and the booster.
Starship on
Hey,
nominal
guys,
trajectory.
I got you.
I can confirm the command was sent for the booster to come back.
That is
So I'm
incredible
looking
news.
up right now. It's pretty much right overhead of us, and we can see it starting to come down.
I can't wait for us to hear the sonic boom through Dan's mic.
Right.
That is
Yes,
going to be
yes, ma'am,
incredible. It
accountable
was so cool to
femininity.
hear the liftoff. And so once again, a successful on-time liftoff of Starship Flight 5. The ship has separated from the booster. The booster is there on your screen. It is making its way back to the launch site. We are going to attempt the catch using the chopsticks. We did hear the confirmation that the command was sent to the tower. We are go for catch.
And in order to.
And guys, we should just be about 30 seconds away from our landing burn. It's going to happen in 3 phases. We're going to land on 13 engines, burn off all of that velocity. Oh, we can see it coming down through the plume.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Booster coming in hot for
It's
booster
23 stories tall.
And ignite 13 of
Yeah.
those Raptor engines, and this view is incredible right now. You can see how fast this vehicle is moving on the left-hand screen.
landing burn. 13 ignited. We're now down to 3 Raptor engines. We can see those chopsticks now in the air.
But okay. So the thing is that Vic. So the thing is that it's impressive because, like I said, NASA hasn't been able to do that. They haven't been able to recover boosters like that, and if they are, they're highly damaged. They have to do a whole lot of refurbishing to that booster and everything. So that is impressive that way. But if you're looking at the old technology being used in this new way, because it's realistically all it is. Okay, when you saw how fast it was coming down, kilometers per second, it was coming down, and then you saw the boosters take off, and you saw how fast it slowed down. That's hot air balloon technology, pretty much. You know what I'm saying? Because heat makes everything rise. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, like if I got enough heat up under the, even though it's 23 stories or whatever you said, heat is making everything rise. If I can put enough heat up under this daggone thing, I can slow it down. And if you look at the technology that we're using to get to the chopsticks, that's, I don't think, any more than just regular GPS technology. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
of course. Yeah, because it's so
just
precise.
right. It's just precise. It's just
It's
guiding it
not
to that
flat
point.
earth math.
No,
That's
it's
my
not.
point. That's my point.
Right.
That is my point.
Right. But
If it's flat earth math, then
Mhm.
where's flat earth?
Right. And like I said, I understand it. Like I said, I've had these conversations with so many people, and I don't even have that conversation anymore. It's just not even worth having,
No.
at this point,
And who do all these people work for? Because this is like SpaceX is private.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. It's private. My thing is like, okay, what else are you putting up there? You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
That's
well,
my
definitely
thing. Like,
satellites and
well,
stuff.
yeah,
so-
but god damn, how many damn satellites we need? like I know you've seen that what's that damn internet shit that he has?
Starlink.
Starlink. I know you've seen that floating through your damn sky
Yeah.
before. Look like a big ass spaceship up there. Like, how much more shit you putting up there, dog?
Man, Elon Musk is Tony Stark.
Yeah. And he hates gay people, so I feel sorry for them. You know what I'm saying? I don't,
That video he
you
was
know
talking
what?
about when
Right,
he
go
said,
ahead.
"I'm going to destroy the woke
The
virus."
woke mind virus.
And then he looked dead in the camera. I'm going to destroy the
Look,
woke virus.
you gotta use his exact words. He said, "I vow." to destroy the mobile virus.
Look,
you don't use the word vile unless you really mean it. You know what I'm saying?
That boy said vile and woke virus.
Yeah. So at
Man.
the end of the day, he said it's a minefield up there. Just Google it. It's a minefield. What do you mean by that, Steve?
He's saying it's a minefield of satellites.
Oh yeah. It is a whole lot of satellites. I've seen a picture of it, of how many satellites are in space. It's crazy, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I think my boy Morla saying, about to be going on vacation out of space. I think that's really what the setup is. It's just he's going to create this thing to where you can literally. It's going to be like, I don't know if you guys seen the movie Elysium. It's going to be like that. It's going to be like that. There's going to be a place for people who are well off can go, and they can escape this madness down here. You know what I'm saying? And it may be the final,
final countdown.
It might be the final countdown because, because if I could create a civilization up here to where we can live for 100, 200 years, then at that point. No. I'm not simplifying the hot air balloon to an astronaut uneducated. No,
Antoine just want attention, man. Like,
look, Antoine. believe me, man. It's old technology, and they're just using it in a new way. That's all. It's nothing new. That was nothing new that you saw. You know what I'm saying? Heat will slow you down. You know what I'm saying? And heat will rise you up. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's just what it is. I'm not saying that it's just basic. Kindergarten math. No, it's some.
You're talking about from the mechanics from which it came. You're just talking about the mechanics,
right.
And then the evolution and application of technology. It had to start somewhere. Like the wheel was round, and then they put tires on the wheel. You know what I'm saying? And then they put struts, suspension, shocks, and they improved.
He still doesn't get it. He said, "Old technology. You're an idiot." He doesn't realize he's not seeing any new technology. You're not seeing any new technology.
New application.
You're seeing a new application of what we already know. That's all you're seeing. Man, that's all you're seeing.
Leave us with some closing thoughts. I want to keep it on the two, you know what I'm saying, so I can chop this up. You know what I'm saying? Because this was really good, man. So
right. And see, I told you this will be fun doing things like this and having discussions. Like we don't always have to have a discussion about what is traditionally having a discussion about. The thing is, look at it, we're still going at it. But anyway, the thing is this type of conversation or these type of conversations are dope to have. You know what I'm saying? They're really dope to have. And just to see where we're going with what we're seeing, you know what I'm saying, as far as what Elon Musk is doing and countless others. He's not the only one that's coming up with these crazy plans to do different things. You know what I'm saying? We just talked about, the application of being able to shine the sun's light where it's dark. That's a dope thought process. We don't get it. We don't understand it, but that's a dope thought process. You're even talking about when these hurricanes came through this year, people talking about, people being able to manipulate the weather. Like you said, everything's the truth. You know what I'm saying? Like it's true to somebody. Somebody out there is saying, I can stop a hurricane. Somebody out there is saying, I can stop a tornado. Someone's out there saying that. You know what I'm saying? There's people out there who, who say, we can stop asteroids the size of cities.
They make movies about this stuff, man.
They make movies about the shit, right?
So, and with that said, that's how life is handled beyond the algorithm. All things are true. We out.
All right now.